Welcome back to another Leadership Moments with Heath. We appreciate all the help that you guys are giving us getting this thing started. The sharing's what helps the most, so just keep sharing the videos. We appreciate it more than we can tell you. Today's story it comes out of the pastoring world, but it's something that has business applications as well, probably any type of leadership applications as well. It's a heavy one though, and I hate to be a Debbie Downer, but sometimes these lessons are that way. The year was 2015, and in 2014 we had stumbled across a program called 24 to Double, done by Daystar Church, and the program was designed how to use a system that they were using to increase your growth as an organization, to be able to bring people into your organization and be able to help them assimilate and to grow, based around growing a church, evangelism such as that, and it was effective, and we had signed up for this program, and we were walking through this program, and we were implementing this program, and things were going really, really well as a church, at least on numbers wise. As a church, we had increased by roughly 50-60%, and we're steady growing. We did double. It all came crashing down, which we'll talk about maybe in another story. But the growth was there. People were being reached. Outreach was working. People were making commitments to Christ. We were seeing positive changes in people's lives, amazing things happening. But there were some people who predated this system, who were not involved in the implementation or the classes involved, and did not understand it, did not want to be part of it. It did not represent what they thought a church should be, and they were upset. And there was a significant number of them, and most of them were in positions of some sort of leadership within the church. So as stakeholders, they did not have buy-in to something that was working. So in an effort to try to keep the church from splitting, which ultimately I failed at, or it failed, or maybe it needed to happen, I don't know. But trying to avoid the split that was coming, I saw that we had a group that was new and was really excited and was moving forward, and a group that was not new, that was not really excited, and were trying their best to slow down or to impede what was happening. And that the conflict and controversy between these two groups was something that was getting out of hand. And so my solution was that maybe we would run two services. Maybe we would run a service that would cater to the traditional needs of the traditional group, and then run a service that would be freed, because we were trying to do something blended. Run a service that would be freed of this, and allow them to be able to the new group to be able to just kind of run with whatever it was that they thought needed to happen. And we had put some effort into being sure that was that would work. And so I grabbed all of those traditional leaders, a few of the new leaders, and piled them into a room and said, okay, here's what I'm thinking. And it was my birthday. The year was 2015. It was my birthday, April 16th. And one of the youth, I love you, Valerie, if you watch these, appreciate you, made me a birthday cake. Now, I don't celebrate birthdays very much, but it meant a lot to me that one of not my kids, but one of my kids in the church thought enough of me to celebrate my 38th birthday by baking me a cake. And Valerie was always good at cooking, and I was excited about the cake, and she brought it there to that meeting because her parents were involved as well. And so that meeting went 6 ways from sideways, and that a member of that group threatened to call for my resignation. They were very angry. We're not going to have it that there would be a split service. We're not going to have it that it was not going to remain. It was not going to go back to the way that it was, that we were going to undo the things that we had done, and that we were going to stop the changes that were being made. We're not going to have it any other way. And I tried to argue from a point of reason. I tried to argue from a point of results. I tried to, and when I say argue, I don't mean like fight. I mean just make an argument on behalf of from a debating standpoint, not a confrontational standpoint. And as I worked on it and tried to work through it, I eventually realized that this conversation was lost. We weren't going to win that. And I gave up. Not give up, but in that conversation I did. And I just kind of hung my head and I asked him, okay, what do you want me to do? And there were no solutions that they could provide that would head it off other than put it back like it was, which I couldn't do because people were getting saved. And it was amazing that the growth that happened for the kingdom of Christ in that year alone. That church of what became about 120 baptized a quarter of the congregation that year. It was amazing. The strongholds that we were being broken down through the 2-hour prayer meetings, 2 hours of grown people wanting to pray for 2 hours. It was amazing. And I don't mean we were just sitting in there and one dude was praying. I mean, we were taking turns. People were squalling and crying, and sins were being confessed, and strongholds being tore down, and people were coming to know the Lord left and right. Almost every Sunday, somebody was accepting Christ as their Savior. It was amazing. But it was different. It was different. So after that meeting, that was probably the worst meeting of my adult life. I have never felt so downtrodden and so defeated as I did in that moment. That group of people, some of whom were calling for my resignation, at the end of the meeting, got up and ate my birthday cake. And I think that hurt more. As a leader, some days are like that. Some days, it will feel like everyone is against you. And everything is against you. And that no matter what you do, no matter what results you provide, no matter what things go right, that there are people who will believe that it's wrong. And it's in those moments that you have to know why you're doing what you're doing. Thankfully, we don't have to rest solely in the opinion of others for our own validation. We can know the difference between right and wrong. And we can know the difference between whether or not we're being successful, what we're trying to accomplish or not. And if we're not being successful, we need to change our methods. We need to change our attitudes. We need to change our focus. But we need to continue to pursue the things that are moving us toward the goals that we have set in the beginning. It needs to be principled. And if your approach is principled, then you can continue to move forward even when nobody's with you. Because some days, it'll be like that. But you just could keep continuing forward. So what were the results? Well, oddly enough, we lost almost all of those people who were upset. Not all, but almost all. And we lost almost all of the new people too. And as a church that went through a couple of years of amazing growth, we ended up smaller than when we started. But that smaller group walked through the process of revitalization, relaunched that church under a different name. Amazing things are going to happen there, I know. They're still keeping on. God is still sustaining them, and they're still being a positive impact in that community. That guy who called for my resignation told me to my face that God had told him that he was going to close that church. Well, he hasn't yet. He hasn't yet. Hang in there, guys. If leadership was easy, everybody would do it. Just because it's going bad today doesn't define tomorrow. Hang in there. All right, love you. Hope you're having the best.